we all remember what it felt like seeing that video. Today marks 1 year since the horrific scene at the Hard Rock Hotel construction site when the top floors of the 18-story building collapsed. Good evening, I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Karen Swenson. The Hard Rock collapse killed 3 workers who were trapped inside.
Almost immediately afterwards, Eyewitness investigator David Hammer started to uncover what might have caused this terrible tragedy. He joins us now from the Hard Rock site. David, hard to believe it's been 1 year.
Yeah, Sharice and Karen, it's very loud here because there's a memorial going up to the 3 workers who were killed in that collapse. And big news just moments ago, the owners of the Hard Rock Hotel site, 1031 Canal Development, and their lead owner, Mohan Kailas, sued their contractors and alleged that they're responsible for the collapse. Of course, we investigated what went wrong, and we discovered that there were problems with support beams on those upper floors, including the steel beams that supported those floors, and also changes to the metal decking where they poured the concrete. We also broke the story of this video shot by one of the workers just days before the collapse. In it, he said in Spanish that the building was poorly designed and pointed out a shoring support that was buckling under the weight of the 17th floor above. We've also seen several problems getting the building down over the last year. It started with demolition of tower cranes damaged during the collapse, and it continued with a battle between the owners, 1031 Canal Development, and the city over the best way to bring it down. City Chief Administrative Officer Gilbert Montano today said he's frustrated.
It's frustrating to see the pace of which the building has been taking to come down. I think that everybody involved, including, of course, the administration, would like to see complete closure and the building coming down.
And just recently I spoke to Paul Thibodeau. He is an attorney for 1031 Canal Development. He said the steel structure at the top should be down by the end of the month, and the concrete floors underneath, the 8 floors underneath, should be down in January 2021. Now, about 4 dozen people gathered here, are still gathering here today to memorialize the 3 men who were killed in the collapse. That's, as you can see, Anthony Magrette, Quinnyon Wimberly, and Jose Ponce Arreola. Tonight at 10, we're going to have more on how their families have reacted and how much they appreciate the support of this memorial. Reporting from outside the Hard Rock Hotel collapse site, David Hammer, Eyewitness News.